So I know a lot of people might be thinking about, okay, you're in North Dakota. There ain't no black people in North Dakota. I thought the same thing. As far as, you know, black people coming over here to work, it is different. I'm not gonna say that it's wonderful and they accept us with open arms and everybody's colorblind, because that's just not the truth, because we live in America. So there is, you know, racism when it comes to positions and jobs and hiring practices. Am I saying it's prevalently towards only African Americans? I can't really say that, but there is a hierarchy with the way that they choose people for certain specific positions, and based on your background and your knowledge and your experience. I'm not telling you that if you're African American and you're experienced for the job that you'll be looked over for it. It just becomes a little bit more difficult to get you, the person, separated from you, the application, or you, the when you fill out the application or your resume. For instance, if you are an African American, lots of African American names jump off the page depending on what your first name is and your last name is. You can pretty much guess if that person is African American or if they're African or if they're white. So to get your application to even be reviewed and get past the race card may pose difficult over here. For instance, what happened to me when I first came here, when I was looking for an alternative job, is that I noticed that the job that I wanted, every time that I saw a person that was in that position, I would ask them, hey, is your company hiring? And they would say, yes, we need about 15, 20 people. So they gave me the website, and I would go and I would put my application in. I even went to the building and put my application in. I never got a call, I never got an interview. And of course, this applies male to female ratios as well over here, not just prejudice towards skin color. So it was mostly all white males that I saw in this particular position, which I knew that I qualified for, and I had put the application in 4 or 5 times. So the job fair came. When the job fair came, I saw that that particular company that I wanted to get hired on with was at the job fair. So I went up, and the HR woman was there talking to people. And the first question I asked her, I said, are you an equal opportunity employer? And she says, oh, well, of course we are. I said, and she said, why would you say that? Of course we're. I said, well, the reason why I say that is because your hiring demographics in the city of Williston and basically the state of North Dakota does not reflect the fact that you're equal opportunity. And she just looked at me for about 5 seconds, and I began to tell her that 92% of her employees in this particular area, in this particular job, were white male between the ages of 20 and 40 years old. And the other portion were of ethnic background and or female, all mixed in together. She was so flabbergasted that I knew that information that she didn't even know. So the supervisor, who actually was a supervisor in this area for the position I had applied for, was standing there listening to the conversation. So as we had our conversation, I walked away, and I heard him say to her, as I was walking away, hire her. So 2 days later, I get a call from HR way down in Oklahoma. She calls me, I come in, I'm hired, and I start the job. Now, do I think that I would have gotten that job had I not asked her that question? I can tell you 100% within my heart, I believe I would not have gotten that job had I not addressed the equal opportunity, and had he not overheard that conversation, and I just left my application and my resume again with my ethnic sounding name and the fact that it's definitely a female, that again, after that, I would have been looked over for that position. Now, I've happily been working there now for more than a year and a couple of months at that same company, and in that time and in that duration, I'm going to say a whopping 1% of the people that were hired were either female or of ethnic background. So, their hiring practices did not change. Even in the year and a half that I was there, I noticed that even though we had 15, 20, 30 positions open, every time a new person came, it was a white male between the ages of 20 and 40. During safety meetings and trainings, it was always me and about 40 white men in a training class. And that's basically the demographic of who I was. The only African American female working in this area in my job, very well might I add, but they weren't hiring people that looked like me. They weren't hiring females. They did hire one female since I've been there, a white female. And other than that, it's just, white male. So if you have a problem where you have to deal with the fact that you may feel uncomfortable being the only black or the only female, or you feel as though you may or may not be discriminated for a particular job and you don't have thick skin, it might not be a good idea for you to come over here. Because the thing about it is that if you want something, you got to go out there and you got to get it. As an African American, you have to work 3 times as hard to get half as far in this country, and that's anywhere in this country. But if Williston and North Dakota is the opportunity for you to get out of debt, get your family together, stay home and deal with the prejudice at home for $7 an hour, or come over here and deal with the prejudice over here for $26 an hour. It just depends on what you want to do within your life. So yes, I can say there is some racism. Yes, you still can be successful here. It just depends on you and the drive that you have.